Hey everybody, and welcome back. So today I wanted to do more of like an informational tutorial for you. I know obviously the makeup was a little bit more crazy than what it's actually going to be going on in today's video, but I actually pre-filmed another tutorial about this eye look. So I kind of just did two in one. But this one focuses on today is going to be covering up hyperpigmentation. I do have hyperpigmentation in both of my cheeks. Every time I get a breakout, it just leaves a red mark for a really long time. And I'm not talking about like a month or two. Like, I probably have some still faint, slowly fading pigmentation from 4 or 5 plus years. It just stays a really long time. So if anybody else has that problem, I am right there in the frustration level with you, because it sucks and it stays for so long. But I have a little trick that I've been using to cover up my pigmentation problems, and it's just 3 products. One of them, actually 2 of them, are newer, and I really like the way they come out together. As you can see, you might be able to see it, like in person you'd be able to see a little bit of it still left, just because for some reason with hyperpigmentation it's almost impossible unless you have a cake layer like really thick of your face. But I like more natural makeup on my face to see some of my hyperpigmentation. I don't know if it's coming across on camera here, but I just wanted to go ahead and share the method that I use on a daily basis to cover up mine, in hopes that anybody else who has the same problem can go out. And pretty much those products that I'm using are all really cheap, and one of them is just your normal foundation. So whatever you normally use for foundation, you can go ahead and use that for one of the 3 products. So if you want to see how I cover up my hyperpigmentation, then go ahead and keep watching. Alright, so to get started, I'm just going to be going in with a color correcting concealer, and it's just the LA Girl Pro Conceal. These ones just came out, I think like a week or 2 ago, I want to say, and I picked mine out from ladymoss.com. They're only like $2.50, I believe, but I have been really liking the other colors that I have, so this one has been really good, and I like using this one so far just for like that color correction. With this one, it's up to you. You can either dab it on your face directly, because it has like the little, it's kind of like a brush applicator. You can dab it directly on, or you can do it separately. I think what I want to do today is just dab a little bit onto the areas directly. Luckily my skin has calmed down, because it was worse like a week ago. I get the hormonal things once a month, and they are no fun. So just making sure you're not putting too much product in the area, and just kind of going over it lightly. Just dabbing on right now, and then I'm going to go ahead and blend out after. The best thing to remember is you can always you can always add more product, but you can't take away nearly as easily. So with this, starting with less is always better. And with the green, it kind of counteracts the red. And then what I do is I just go ahead and use my finger to pat it in. And I mean, obviously it's not going to take the redness away directly, but it's just going to help to make it a little bit less vibrant and obvious. And you can definitely go ahead and build upon. So as you can see right there, you can't really see any green. Yes, you could still see the pigmentation, but it just kind of helps to blur it a little bit. I'm going to go back in and add a little bit more as well. And then once you feel like you have a good base of some of that discoloration being covered just a little bit with the green, you want to go ahead, and what I will do next is, this one is optional. You can either spot treat with your concealer before you put on your foundation, after, or both. What I'm going to do right now, especially because my skin is a little bit more dry, unfortunately, which is really weird because I have oily skin, but it's been really dry lately. So I'm going to be using the YSL Ink Fusion foundation, and mind you, this is going to be a little bit light when I do put it on, which is why I use the bronzer and everything after. Unfortunately with this foundation, it's my favorite because it keeps me so matte, since I am actually oily, but the only thing is, since my skin is so dry right now, it kind of looks a little bit patchy around like the dry areas when I first put it on, but throughout, like, I want to say like half an hour later, it won't really tell, but at first when I first apply it doesn't look awesome, but hopefully that won't translate on camera. And since it has been so dry, I don't even bother with the brush with this, to be completely honest with you, only because it just accentuates the dryness and kind of just makes it look more patchy. So I just feel like the warmth from my fingers tend to make it look a little bit better and less patchy. And then once I have that blended in, I do stay away from the immediate eye area, only because it is so mattifying. If you have dry eye skin, it's going to accentuate that as well. So I do keep away from that area. And what I'll do, just for like an added little touch, is I'll dab a little bit more of the foundation just onto my finger and put it over that same discoloration areas and pat it in. Because when you're patting it, you're getting more of a compacted coverage. So patting anything, it's the same concept of the beauty blender. When you pat that in, you get more of a compacted coverage. It's doing the same thing to the other side, which is great about just covering up one area. You don't have to put an extra layer or a thicker foundation on if you're only spot concealing, which is ideally probably what most people have. They have their problem areas, so you don't have to put so much foundation everywhere. As long as you get it to blend really well, you can do it just in those areas where you need a little bit extra coverage. And then as you can see there, that's just with the green concealer and then foundation. I do what I have been doing lately, and I really have been enjoying this concealer. I went ahead and picked up the Anastasia concealer. I have the lightest one, which is the shade 0.5. I'm not quite sure if it has a name because it just says 0.5, but it is the lightest shade. And I just go in. This is a Sigma brush. It's the Precision Tapered P86. Just looks like that. And I'll just barely dip it because this is the creamiest concealer I've ever felt ever. It's so good. If you're looking for a new concealer to try, I would definitely recommend it. I think it's only like, I want to say like 21, but it's 21 or less, so it's not expensive at all, and I feel like it'll definitely last you forever. And I'll just go ahead and do the same areas. It's nice because you can see that they're not quite as obvious now, to where it's going to make it a little bit easier. And same thing, I just use my finger for every step of this to blend it out, because of the warmth of your hands and your fingers is just going to make it blend a little bit easier. And what's great about all three of these is it does not look cakey at the end, which is ideal. So instead of adding, like I said, that extra layer, just doing this is going to make your skin look a little bit more natural and not so full face of makeup. Just making sure that you blend everything in really well. And if you have oily skin at all, or if you have like normal skin, once your skin warms up and the oils just start to produce just a little bit from the natural warmth of your face in itself, it's going to help it look a little bit creamier in general. And you don't have to use a matte foundation, it's just I do because I generally am oily. Except for right now. Going in, same thing with the opposite side. And there we go. You can definitely add more and keep going until you get that desired coverage. Just make sure that when you are adding, you're only adding a little bit at a time, so that way you're not getting that cakey feel to where people will look at your skin and there's an obvious different layer and texture of your product, because you are putting on multiple layers of product for this. So with that one, those are the three keys to get your face a nice even canvas for the rest of your makeup, because that is the best way to have your makeup last all day and those spots not to show through so much. Of course, since it is with dealing with hyperpigmentation, that color will start to show through towards because your makeup does tend to move, and then the warmth of your skin just it pops through. For some strange reason, hyperpigmentation is just very intense on your skin, especially the more fair you are like I am. It just kind of just peeks through towards the end. But those are my 3 go-to items right now for covering up the hyperpigmentation that work really well, and I believe that this will work for all skin types and should work for all skin tones as well. Just modify and use your normal foundation. I mean, this has just been the one I've been using. If you're more dry, use your luminous one and do the same thing with patting. It's just going to give you that same extra coverage. It's just a different formulation for you. So I will go ahead. I'm going to finish my makeup off camera, but I just wanted to share that with you while I was getting ready today. Hopefully that helps anybody else who has the same problem as I do. Alright, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next week for my next video. Bye!